It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner!
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Spotty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good thirsty Thursday morning to you. It is the 18th day of May, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well, and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Added.com to that to find our website. xpmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Dan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are you on this Thursday? What's happening? Anything going on? How's life?
Oh, we are like 59 minutes from PGA Championship golf on this Thursday.
Did you see the rough?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They grew it thick there at Oakmont.
Holy mackerel. Like, geez. And here's the thing. One of the videos I saw, and I forget who the player was. But you learn when you're playing, and if you're playing at a young age, you learn you typically don't try to take, unless the ball's sitting up, you don't try to take a wood into the rough. But, you know,
and you certainly don't. You don't take that swing at it if that's.
Dear God.
I know exactly. I was like,
you know the video.
I was like, was that? I was like,
you chopping wood?
Yeah, I was like, is this an amateur? Because that's not the swing I would take if I was in that position. Something
we would do, right? I mean, it's like, dude, like what the hell? And that's us. We'll never play a round of golf as good as whoever the hell that was ever in our lives. And I mean, this dude, like, you don't take a wood into the rough. Now, you know, there's some courses.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
hitting
rough, but it's not really even rough. It's
dude,
like
hit 6
down.
or 7 iron. Just get it out of there.
I mean, yeah, you hit whatever you want, but look, the wood is going to be very difficult to get that club. There's so much more club head, higher grass, more difficult to go through. Head gets caught in the grass, you can't hit the ball unless the ball's sitting up. Like if you got really thick, heavy rough and the ball's sitting up and you can pick it clean, by all means, let it rip. But if I'm watching you on TV and I can't see the ball as you're standing over it because it's buried deep into the long grass, you heard the guy in Jurassic Park, right? Follow the rules. Don't go into the long grass, right? Like that's him. He tries to take a wood out of there. What's the matter with you? Of course you're going to chunk it. And then you got to hit another shot out of the rough. Welcome to golf. Wow, what a sport. What a sport. My goodness. I played with a young fella yesterday who's trying to make FAU's team. What a showcase that was. Man. He was just consistent. Everything. I'm like, dude, can I find the middle of the fairway, please? Am I going to be able to do that? Do I have to hit out from underneath this tree? Can I just drop up by you? Holy smokes, he was good. Goodness gracious. It's actually really, I really actually enjoy playing with people like that. I really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. When Ryan and I we had the opportunity to play in the Meyer LPGA Pro-Am a couple years ago. Yeah, I can't remember the lady's name. I'd have to look it up. But she played for Purdue and went to the LPGA afterwards, and my goodness, she striped everything. It was just beautiful to watch. Just pure on every single shot for 18 holes. It was so cool.
Yeah, and I wasn't even, I didn't know the guy ahead of time either. I went out there as a solo, and they're like, hey, they called me over to the first tee, and I walked over there, and I saw the tee sheet, and I see the guy whose name, it's typed out on the computer. I see the guy's name, and I'm like, holy hell, how do you pronounce this? I mean, his last name must have been 20 letters. All kinds of stuff going on. And he's like, I'm gonna pair you with these two. And it was the kid and his father. His father was just riding along. They were from Thailand, and he's trying to make FAU, the Owls, trying to make their golf team. And I could tell the minute he walked to the tee box. I said, you play competitively? He's like, yeah. And I said, awesome. He's like, you gonna play from back here? I said, oh yeah. Let's go. And I was excited about it. And it's just so much fun to be able to watch and play with somebody that is so dialed in on every single shot. I think he shot 69 or 70.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what did he give you,
he
6 or 7 aside?
He had one blow-up hole where he put a ball in the water, and based on where he had to drop at, he had to punch, and there was no hope.
And he shot 69.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was just laser.
We have no hope.
His putting was phenomenal. He had such a good feel for the greens that he was just. I was like, man, he hammered that one, and nope, that thing would pull its parachute right before the hole, and then just drop in. I'm like, huh, it's pretty interesting.
It really is. It doesn't it make you think they have a secret when that happens, because that's really how good putters.
You know what their secret is?
It seems like they
practice.
Backspin it. It seems like they can backspin it almost.
That's what they do. They practice. So there is an area that has about, I don't know, it's got 7 or 8 flag sticks and about 4 or 5 greens. It's called the short game complex, right? So you just go over there, and they got this big bin full of range balls. You get your bucket, and then next to all the greens, I'm sure you've seen this, but you know the big giant PVC rakes that they have? The PVC piping? Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have these in all the greens. So I've been making kind of a routine out of it, of going over there and getting some work in the evening. And I'll probably, pitch and chip, somewhere around 200 to 300 golf balls, right? I had 2 chip-ins in the round yesterday. I had 2 holes in which I got to put a 0 on the card. The guy's dad was laughing. He was telling me, he spoke hardly any English. And he was trying to tell me that he wished he would have had that on video, taking videos. And the kid was like, Dad, he's like, Dad, he did it again, because his dad's head was down in his phone. He looked up, he said, you did it again. I shot camera, dude. It was hilarious. Oh man, they were great to play with.
Dude,
but yeah,
those are great days. I had one of those. I told you I had I don't even know what I think I shot 42 with 13 putts, which I had 13 putts on one side. I was lighting it up. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Those are the days. 13 putts.
Yeah, those are. That's a nice day right there. Then you're starting to look at it, you're like, how the hell did I have a 42 with 13 putts?
Yeah.
And now you're critiquing,
then you're throwing it around. Yeah, I was tossing it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then making putts.
So sometimes you got to do that. You just got to get up and down. That's what it comes down to. But it's interesting. You put in all that practice, you stop to think about the mechanics, right? And you're just looking at landing zones. What do I have in front of me? Is there a bunker? How far is this chip? Let's take a look at the green and the slope. Which way is the ball going to break when it hits? And where do we need to land this chip? And you start to process information like that. And instead of worrying about where are my feet, where are my hands, where's the ball, because you put in so many repetitions. It's like going to the free throw line, right? When Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum last night go to the free throw line, they're not worried about okay, I got to go, what's my routine? I got to go through my routine, and where's my elbow, and bend your knees. They're not thinking about any of that. They're literally getting the ball. Their routine is so routine that they're just walking up. They're unconscious about it. You're not thinking about the mechanics. You're only thinking about the target. When you start to get to that level of thought process, it's pretty impressive what you can do. But you got to put the work in so that your body knows muscle memory, right? You train your body. We're going to step aside. We'll step away from the great game of golf. We'll jump into a little Major League Baseball next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We'd say good morning to you. We welcome you, thank you, appreciate you. We were talking a little golf earlier. And want to remind you, now is the perfect time to call my buddy Matt Golden up at Tullymore and book your stay and play at the illustrious Tullymore Golf Resort, located in Canadian Lakes, about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive, easy to get to, smack dab in the middle of the state, no matter what direction you're coming from. It's a quick trip. Tullymore not only features top-of-line golf, but also top-of-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. Visit tullymoregolf.com or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. All right, so like we do every day, let's get into what took place yesterday at Comerica Park as the Tigers were looking to go 2 for 2 against the Pittsburgh Pirates before their off day today. That did not happen. It was early and it was often from the Pittsburgh Pirates, who scored 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 4 in the seventh inning. 14 hits, 8 runs, no errors for the Pirates. The Detroit Tigers, bad news bears. Only 1 hit in the ball game, no runs scored, 1 error. Just a really rough day. Our plate discipline number that we try to get at 7 or less as far as team strikeouts, that was up to 14 yesterday. 14 team strikeouts. They were 1 for 28 from the plate. What a rough outing that is. My goodness.
Yeah. When you see 96, 97 every day, and then Rich Hill is out there, he threw more pitches under 79 than he threw over 80.
Wheeling and dealing.
When he's just tossing, I think he threw like 4 or 5 curveballs that were like 64 miles an hour.
Oh, man, that's tough.
So, when you're seeing 64 5 or 6 times in a row, and then he blows 89 by you, that's a big difference in miles per hour on a pitch. So these guys, they couldn't, I don't know if they couldn't see the ball. They just were terrible, baffled by it, really.
43-year-old Rich Hill just doesn't need to throw it hard. See?
No.
Sometimes you don't need to throw it 100 miles an hour, kids. Your placement's really good. You got command over your pitches. You could be an average fastball thrower, but if you got really good command, shoot.
What Gibby was saying during the broadcast, I found interesting. He said Rich Hill got to watch the Tigers to see how they react to certain pitches for an entire game. So he knew his game plan because of the Tigers, not just because of what he does. He's
That's
like, he's like, I could take advantage of these guys. They're free swingers. And obviously he did.
Well, I mean, that's a professional. Like that's why he's 43 years old, still dealing major league pitches. I mean, he played back in the day where they used to drop off beer in the clubhouse afterwards. Now it's like, oh God, don't have any alcohol in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he and Miggy faced off. I believe the first time was 2005.
Jeez. What a long time ago. 2005. Vierling was the only guy to register a hit for the Tigers. He was 1 for 3. Ibanez was 0 for 4. He had 2 strikeouts. Javi Baez.
That hit was also the first hitter of the game, and it was off of Rich Hill's glove.
And it counts.
It was an infield hit. The game was over after that.
Switch the station. Javi was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. His average now sits at 248. Akil Badu was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Torque was 0 for 3. Struck out 3 times. Did draw a walk, though. Good for him. Eric Haas 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Scope 0 for 2 with a walk drawn and a strikeout as well. Miggy was 0 for 3. Zach Short 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And Jake Rogers 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout. 3 walks drawn, 14 Ks in the game.
The funny thing is, and I do like AJ Hinch as a manager.
Oh, boy.
But sometimes you just you outsmart yourself. The dude's throwing 90. You don't have to take every lefty out of the lineup. guess what? It didn't work. Riley Green is hitting .412 this month. I don't care that a left-handed pitcher is starting. The dude should be playing. There was an error. Yes. There was also Matt Vierling is a pretty good outfielder. Riley Green probably catches that ball that Matt Vierling dropped in deep right center. That led to a bunch of runs being scored, which got the Tigers down early. Things happen that isn't just at the plate.
And if Riley Green would have been in, I
who knows? He could have hit a home run.
Like, dude, you got to hit against. You're gonna have to play lefties. Like, I don't understand. Like if you're an everyday player, it doesn't matter right-handed, left-handed, ambidextrous.
I mean, imagine
with their foot.
If Griffey didn't play against left-handed pitchers. Okay, yeah. No, Barry Bonds, right?
That's ridiculous. I don't know why, with off days as frequent as we're having them right now, like why you would pull him from the lineup. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because guess what? He's sitting around another day today not seeing live pitching.
Exactly. After sitting around Monday. Like, no, play him. Like, who would, I guess, after what you've seen thus far with the Detroit Tigers, and by the way, they'll begin the first of 3 on the road against the Washington Nationals tomorrow night at 7:05. Who is your everyday lineup for this team? Like, who are the guy? Like, what is the team you want them to trot out there? By the way, Eduardo wasn't great. He finally had a halfway, not decent game for Eduardo Rodriguez. His final line looked like this: 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. All 4 were earned. He walked 2, struck out 5, gave up a dinger, and through 98 total pitches, his ERA sits at 2.06 right now. But what's your everyday lineup for the Tigers?
You know what? I wish I dream of an everyday lineup. I wish I could talk to AJ and be like, AJ, every single winning team that has ever done anything, have they ever played the strategy that you play, that you employ? No. Every single game that they win, they don't employ that strategy. I don't know how they don't realize it. So moving this guy to here and this guy to there, what does that do? What is bringing Akil Baddoo in the 8th inning going to help you? I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. That's you're right.
Well, also most winning teams have 7 guys where it's like, yes, they're right there. And you have 2 flex guys. It's like the opposite for the Tigers.
We got 2 everyday guys and 7 flex guys.
Yeah, probably 3. If Green, Torkelson, Baez, and then it's like the rest, whoever's hot.
Unfortunately, McKinstry is an everyday guy now because Jonathan Scope is.
But McKinstry's still playing right field, left field, second.
Yeah.
It's like that's the flexibility Hinch wants because it's like, all right, Scope's struggling, he's going to play second. All right, Baddoo's struggling, we'll stick him in left. And it's like, Maytown's struggling, we'll put McKinstry at third. So it's like, that's why there's not an everyday lineup because you don't have everyday hitters.
Well, that's because they don't trust. You have to be able to bat against lefties and righties. It's the major leagues.
It is the major leagues. Yes, I would 100% agree with that. Like, it doesn't matter who they trot out. If you're a Major League Baseball player, you're an everyday guy. You're playing every day. We're not gonna bench you because
guess what? The Orioles are getting better because Cedric Mullins plays every day. He's played every day that he's available since he was a rookie.
Well, and they've also developed hitting prospects.
Tigers off tonight. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
For a lot of us, music and mental health are intertwined. That's why the Collaborative Lab created In Tune, a free live stream event, and you're invited. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day, so take action for your own mental health by joining us from 7 to 9 p.m. musical performances, and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Barrel Bones, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to learn how you can join the party for free.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, so the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police has a few tips for you. Keep your eyes off of your phone, off of your touchscreen, and off of your passengers. And keep your hands on the wheel. Simple, right? Yet every day, 8 people are killed in distracted driving accidents. Wherever it is you're going, we would like you to get there. And so would everyone else on the road.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Conference finals are here, which means big hoops action over at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the association. Get in on all the excitement every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet. Score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins, plus everyone can score on the no-sweat same-game parlay during the conference finals. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place the same-game parlay on any NBA game. East or West, doesn't matter. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and sign up using the promo code HUGE, promo code A2GE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Hey, by the way, I think I missed this yesterday. He said, thanks for keeping me company while traveling to Tennessee for a family emergency. That's from Clint on Facebook. Can we drop a line to Clint and just tell him we're happy to be with him and travel safely first and foremost, and secondly, hope everything goes okay and works out for him. That's tough. That's tough when you live a long way from family and something happens and you got to that's a difficult situation there. The host forgot to bring up Eduardo's bad start. No, I didn't. I literally just said that. Probably his worst start of the season. You got to before you climb all over me. Here's the deal. All right, let's have a quick discussion. I'm going to tell you something because I've had a lot of hits recently, so it's time for me to have a miss. I'll tell you that I was very disappointed with what we saw from DeAndre Ayton in the playoffs. I think that his body language when Devin Booker was trying to get after him a little bit and just kind of blowing him off no, you can't do that. I'm somebody that looks at DeAndre Ayton and sees that size, and it's like, dude, I mean, you could be 14-10 easy every night. Every night. And I was somebody who was interested in DeAndre Ayton last offseason. I was. Very interested in DeAndre Ayton. They didn't make the move. They ended up drafting Jalen Duren, which is the right play. He's the right guy for this team. So that's a great call on Troy Weaver's part. Because I think that Jalen Duren, over the course of their careers, is probably going to have a better career, I hope that he does, than DeAndre Ayton. So they went and drafted Jalen Duren instead of trying to acquire anybody last offseason. And you know what? I would say that I missed on DeAndre Ayton. And this year was a pretty good tell of, kind of what he's actually about. But a lot of times, it's a lot like science. If you came out with a report, right, and you had, your sources and your data to support whatever opinion you might come to a conclusion with, okay? You have to be willing for someone to go back, take a look at your work, find a flaw or a new development, and you have to be able to change your opinion on the matter or keep your opinion fluid on the matter. I think a lot of times we get so set in stone in today's society that people can't, they have they don't have the ability to see really both sides of the fence, or they dig in on an opinion so hard that in their fear of being quote unquote wrong, they just double down on it. And it's like, that's just absolutely preposterous. We have new information available. We have more games available. We now have video of DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker's exchange. Now, as I sit here on the 18th day of May, 2025, I am now more informed about said player, DeAndre Ayton, than I was on May 18th of 2022. And somebody who lives in Phoenix that watches the Suns every night be like, no, that's the kind of guy he is. I will have to take your word for it because I don't get to see as much Phoenix Suns basketball living on in the Eastern time zone. But you have to be able to take the new information, process it, and be okay with being wrong about it. Right? Or having a miss. I missed on this player. I missed on that player. And that's okay. He's a loser between the lines. Unfortunately, you have a lot of misses, but you're still an all-star. Oh, man, I mean, you got another one besides DeAndre Ayton recently? You got another one?
As what? What are you saying?
Like, so the texter said he's a loser between the white lines. Unfortunately, you have a lot of misses, but you're still an all-star. Can you think of one recently? You got any misses for me? You got anything I said that's just like, yeah, it was bad? That was a big.
I would have to.
You have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm sure I could come up with a few.
I'm sure you could too. I mean, we do this every day of the week. Like, there's no way you're not gonna. Nobody bats 1,000, right? It's just not gonna happen. But I'm okay with that idea of saying, hey, wait a minute. Now that I have more information, I'm allowed to say, hey, I was wrong on this guy. I don't like X, Y, and Z, and move forward with it. Like, that's completely fine. But some people dig in on their opinion so hard that you can't, like, there's nothing you could say that's ever going to help them see it, because now not only have they dug in on their opinion,
but
they're
then
afraid to admit that they're wrong.
There's guys that come around to it. Like, I knew I was right about Phil Mickelson being a jerk, like, forever. I was just like, why do people like this guy? Like, he's not. I could just feel
because
it.
when you hit a pitching wedge 125 yards, but there's dew on the ground and it's 34 degrees Celsius, then you must hit the ball 158 yards and spin it.
But now, like, I like Phil the villain. I think it's fun. It's more fun than Phil the jerk in the PGA that everybody thought was a nice guy. So he's come around to me liking him again.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I'm sure if you would have went to the Rocket Mortgage and Phil Mickelson would have stopped by when you were at your peak hate of Phil, right? If you're there at the Rocket Mortgage and Phil stops by and he grabs you.
And do not get me wrong. I would have taken a picture, an autograph, whatever.
Well, not even that. What if he was like, hey, let's go, like, hey, is there a hospitality tent around here? And you're like, yeah. He's like, let's go grab a beer.
Oh, I would have loved that.
You would have loved it, right?
Yes. I like Phil. I just I knew he was not a good person. If you had ever read anything about his insider trading situation, you would have known he wasn't a good person, but nobody ever cared to pay attention to that.
Well, there's the insider trading. There's the alleged gambling debts. There's kind of a lot going on there. You got a lot of money. You want to play with it. You want to try to make more money. You might do it in an illegal form or fashion. Like that. And now as you watch more Phil Mickelson later on in his career, like the run that he gave everybody at the Masters, that was somewhat terrifying. Even if whatever her name is, what's her name, Christine Brennan, who wrote that article about how they should have cut away from, they shouldn't even have shown Phil Mickelson for sports washing because the Saudis fund the Live Tour. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute. They went and dug up the fact that she's on a board at a university in the MAC. And they're like, hey, here's all the money that comes from Saudi Arabia to pay for their students to go to your school, but you're on the board there. So what do you think about that? Of course, there was no response because they can't do that. No way they're not going to respond. But you knew I kept telling you, he told his coach, nah, I'm not going back in, but you thought he was going to change. LOL. I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong ever. And that's a good thing. That's a good quality to have. It's a good quality to say, you know what, maybe we missed on this. Maybe we missed on this. Maybe this was a bad choice. That's okay. It is. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You might be keeping score at home. I'm not keeping score. It's impossible. It's just too much.
Oh, my gosh. I forget about the show the second we leave. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll feel good about the show, but anything that was said on the show, no recollection.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just because if we dealt with it that way in our brains, we
can't
would
be that critical.
We would hate. Yeah, you would really. By the end of the week, you would hate yourself for saying all the dumb things you say.
Yeah, it's and a lot of this too. Like, okay, so entertainment and sports network, right? A lot of this is it. There's a huge entertainment factor in there. Our topics of discussion are 98% of the time sports, right? And how do you make that entertaining? That's a daily. That's the job. Like, that's the challenge that presents itself every day of the week. And so, that's what you hope to be able to provide. Eduardo Rodriguez had a bad start. They should trade him right now before his stock goes any lower. It doesn't even matter what you get. Just trade him for a pitching machine or something. Anything. Whatever. The prospects don't matter. Whatever you want. Bag of balls. Bag of bats. Bag of chew. Can you even chew anymore? I know they frown upon that. Let's talk about now. We're going to talk about something else because Eastern Conference Finals were last night. I don't know if you saw my guy, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets.
The lineup out there
can switch everything.
And they do.
It's Butler, and this is over Williams, and Jimmy Butler connects right there. And he has not disappointed in these playoffs. Perhaps the best sixth man off the bench in these entire playoffs, Stan.
No question, and shooting 44% from...
Stirs to Butler, and Butler over Smart. Rebound Butler. He's all over the place. Gets his own...
He shoots, he rebounds, he steals the basketball. Mr. Do-It-All, and yeah, like the playoff Jimmy thing is now like it's a real thing. Like it is. It's not like he's a good regular season player, and he is a great player in the playoffs. You want to know why he's a great player in the playoffs? Because he's got the old school, that old school mentality of I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. He is one of those people. Like there's a saying in small business, right? If you work in small business, you'll realize this because you don't have the different departments and the different levels of everything that you have in the corporate world, right? So your HR person more than likely isn't going to be sweeping the floors or cleaning anything. They're going to go in, they're going to do their job as HR, and they're going to leave. Your salespeople, the same thing. They're just going to sell. But when you work in small business, the saying is everything is your job. So when somebody greets me with a quote, "That's not my job," I usually have to grab my eyeballs and pull them back to the front of my face, hand the person the broom and say, it is your job. Everything is your job here. You're not assigned one specific duty. Your primary role here is to do X, Y, and Z. But since you're here, the other 23 letters of the alphabet are also your responsibility. Like that's just, it is what it is. Like if you were going to run like a convenience store, like, okay, sure. But, you do realize that you're not only running the cash register as an employee there, you're not only bagging up the goods, you're doing all the ordering and all the inventory and the audits. You're doing the payroll. You do everything. A lot of people don't get that. They don't understand what that means. So we get caught in this workplace that is just like, well, I only shoot threes. I only do this. No, you need to do everything. You need to do everything. And Jimmy Butler does everything. 35 points, 7 assists, a playoff career high 6 steals in the ball game. He was all over the place last night. Best player on the floor. I thought that maybe, my head said Boston. Who did I say this to? Did I say this on there? Head says Boston, heart says Heat. Like, I want Miami to win this series. I think that Boston has a better lineup top to bottom. But I think that the difference is that the Miami Heat are very, very good at
Eric
understanding that. Well, that's a huge portion of it too. But we don't say anything about Spo if Jimmy Butler doesn't go crazy last night, right? I mean, it's a make or miss league. At the end of the day, you got to have the horses. You have to. And Jimmy Butler did everything necessary in that ball game to win. 35, 5, 7, and 6 steals. Are you kidding me? Just shy of 50% from the field. Kevin Love getting some good run out there. My boy Duncan Robinson's just struggling. That poor kid. Kyle Lowry, though, in his evolved role and what that means for this team, coming off the bench, giving them a spark. A couple of big-time threes in that ball game. Like, they're doing Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Kevin Love. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, that's your team? Yeah, it is. But they have really good leadership. And that's why Jimmy Butler left that clown organization that is the Philadelphia 76ers. That's why he wanted out of there. He knew when he got there. You people you're not mentally strong enough for this. Jimmy Butler just wants to play basketball. He wants to play basketball at a high level. He wants to play meaningful games. I mean, the story, God, I can see his face.
I'm so happy for Kevin Love.
Are you? Me too.
Jeff Teague, you're about to say?
Jeff Teague and the Timberwolves. Like, dude, this guy went out there and clowned the starting five with guys that were going to be on two-way contracts with the G League and then left practice. And telling everybody, guarding Karl Anthony Towns, talking smack the entire practice. Like, there are very few people that could tolerate what Jimmy Butler brings to the table. And those that can are going to be winners because that's what he's about. That's why I love watching him. He's got mid-range. He can get to the basket. He can shoot it from deep. Strong at the free throw line. Like, I'm all in on Jimmy
and
Butler.
one of the toughest defenders in the league as well.
And that's the thing. What did I say this the other day? Like, two-way, like everybody's got to play. Yeah, everybody's a two-way player.
Well, at the beginning of Jimmy Butler's career, it was, hey, he is a great defender. The offense just isn't there yet for him when he was in Chicago. It's just like, it's kind of like how Kawhi Leonard came up too. It's like great defenders need to see that offensive game develop. And for both of them, it really developed. Just Jimmy Butler likes playing basketball. Kawhi Leonard likes vacation days.
Well, he sure does like vacation days, doesn't he? Goodness gracious. But it took Jimmy Butler a couple of years to get his feet under him, right? To figure out, the kind of player that he was going to be. And he was dynamite in Chicago. And then he kind of got like a little bit lost in the sauce and is the perfect player for the Miami Heat. Like, he's exactly like Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. Like, that's exactly what they want. And I'm rooting for him. Like, I hope that they can do this. Like I said, I think that Boston's a more talented team, but I want Miami to win. I thought that Robert Williams, I didn't understand why in the broadcast last night they were talking about the turnover where it's late in like the fourth quarter. Ball bounces, going out of bounds off of a miss, and Williams goes to like grab it and save it from out of bounds and flip it behind him to his teammate, and his teammate's not paying attention or doesn't see it because it's a live game going on. He tried to save the ball. He put in the extra effort. It didn't work, but I'm not going to blame him for that turnover because he's trying to hustle and save the ball. Like, I didn't get that. Also, do we need a three-man booth? Like, less Reggie Miller, more Kevin Harlan. Please, for the love of God. Jason Tatum, by the way.
Yeah, he kept talking over him, even during the billboards. It was like, let the dude say AT&T first. Just,
I'm sorry, partner. Like, yeah, shut up, Reggie. 41 minutes for Jason Tatum, 9 of 17 for the field, 30 points, 7 rebounds and assists, 4 turnovers, costly ones. Hour 2 next, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Godsmack, live and in your face. Friday, May 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino, plus Bad Wolves. And same show, same night, Bullet for My Valentine. Tickets start at $28, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. Godsmack, May 26th, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. decommits.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! James! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here, X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Kaelin, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on both BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. Danny Kaelin is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, so okay. Couple things here. I promise you I'm not keeping score. I have more misses than you, but you think Jalen Rose will ever admit that he's wrong about Juwan Howard and all his titles? I mean, to be determined, I suppose. You're going to admit that you were wrong about Malik Willis and Zach Wilson? I mean,
he just did. He said he has a lot of misses.
That's not admitting that Zach Wilson's a bum. I mean, I'm surprised the Jacksonville Jaguars did. Why wouldn't the Jacksonville Jaguars make a run for Aaron Rodgers? Why do you think?
They have a good young quarterback.
Why didn't Kansas City make a run for Aaron Rodgers? They're ready to win right now.
Well, they have the best player maybe in league history.
All right, what about the Bengals? They're a perennial playoff team. They could make it. Why wouldn't the Bengals make a run for Aaron Rodgers? You see the trend here? You're only going to go to a team that doesn't have a quarterback. Solves that I mean, end of story. Maybe in 5 years he'll be good. Maybe he'll be out of the league. The Pistons really need to sign a bad contract to help their cap when they are ready to win. Ben Simmons is the best bad contract out there. 2 years at $77 million. We can get out of that. Maybe around a young core, he'll figure it out. Remember, it's about getting the best bad contract out there, not the player. Ben to Detroit. What? Huh?
Basically, everybody wants us to take on a bad contract so that we can gain a first round pick via that contract. Hey, we'll give you next year's first round pick if you take Ben Simmons off our hands.
If that's the case, then fine. But our cap situation is like we're in decent shape. I don't know, like, yeah. The thing about Ben Simmons is that he's mentally weak. He's mentally weak, and I don't want that sort of. I quit when things get hard. I don't know how to handle my nerves. Like I can't. Like I don't want that anywhere near my team. He's a cancer, is what he is. He's a cancer, and until he proves me otherwise, that's what he's always going to be. He couldn't shoot coming out of college when everybody wanted to anoint him as the next best thing. And I'm like, if you can't get your team to the NCAA tournament, that you got to stop people with he's the next LeBron. He's not. If you can't get your team to a 64-team field in college, you think LeBron was ever going to miss if he went to Ohio State? You think he's ever going to miss the tournament? No. Are you kidding me? Not missing the tournament. 68 teams get in. It's ridiculous. Ben Simmons. I don't want him. I don't want him. I think he's a crybaby. That's what I think he is. I think he's I can't do it. Then don't do it and get out. They should be able to fine you for playing as poorly as you do. Guy can't shoot a 15-foot jumper, turning down layups. Can't even do that. Get out of here, Ben Simmons. Ugh, I don't want that. I don't want him anywhere near my team. You know what I do want? I want a guy like this guy here.
How much did Jimmy kind of take control there of the game in the second half, not only with the scoring,
Yeah.
the kickouts, the steals, just
all of
just
it.
things.
Yeah, that's well said. Right, as one of the premier, if not the premier, two-way basketball players on this in this association, that's what we needed. We needed, him to make some plays defensively. We needed him to also just be, ball containment defensively. On the ball, off the ball, all that stuff. Settled us offensively. That's a big part of us, not turning the ball over, is just having a place where you can throw the ball and get a little bit more settled. I think even the 11 turnovers in the first half is a little bit uncharacteristic for us. We were a little bit disjointed offensively in the first half. But I think also you have to credit them. They got us out of our normal stuff, even though we were able to score 57. And then, down the stretch, Jimmy was able to just do everything that we needed, as a scorer or as a facilitator, and he's willing to do both.
And as a defender, and as a rebounder, and as everything else. I mean, for 43 minutes, you're getting every single ounce of effort that guy has. And I want more players like that. That's why I really like Dern. Doesn't need the ball. Not worried about his stats. Just wants to contribute to the win. So Ben to Detroit, I'll get that out of there. No, thank you. I would rather not. I don't. Yeah, if we were able to get another a first rounder in exchange, but where's that first rounder going to be at? I don't know. I don't know if I'd take. How are those two misses? Willis hasn't started his rookie season. LOL. Wake up. Malik Willis? He's already been in the league, man. Been in the league. You wanted him at 2. I have it on television. Let's talk about Michigan, bringing back my friend, another Schembechler. Shemmy to the athletic department. What is his role? I don't think that Shemmy is going into the athletic department. I think he's joining the football staff. I think
he's a scout, isn't he?
He was
a scout in the NFL.
Assistant director of football recruiting.
So, a scout.
Yeah, whatever the hell that means. But he was with the Raiders until February. He's also scouted for Washington, Chicago, Kansas City. Spent over a decade working with the Washington organization. He worked as a recruiting and graduate assistant in 1993. And he's got the last name, which means there's going to be some controversy there. It's the way it is. I mean, Jim, I don't know. I don't have much to give you on, it's not, how much can you hold the sins of the father against the son? Right? That's like a biblical question right there, I suppose. But whatever the doctor, what was his name? What was the doctor's name? Why do I want to say Andrews? It wasn't Andrews.
Anderson.
Whatever came about in that, whatever was allowed in that, where whomever turned the other cheek or didn't listen is liable for any wrongdoing that took place under their watch. So it's going to be something that I'm sure we'll see some hit pieces here in the local news coming soon. I'm sure that's going to happen. Now, I will say, if you had opinions about the Lions in Michigan, then you'll be leading in misses. All right. We're not going to do this all day. So there we go. All I'm saying, my whole point of this, the whole premise of this, is that you should be able to evolve your opinion based on the information that you are now getting that could be different than the information that you got 3 years ago. That's my whole point. The whole point is that you should be able to look at today and be able to look at it from a 30,000 feet view and say, hey, maybe I was wrong. That's okay, because you now have more information than you did 3 years ago. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Did you know that churches, businesses, schools, and sporting events need to be safe? Of course you did. But did you know where many of those groups and organizations turn to make sure their safety measures are current and comprehensive? Their local Michigan Police Department. That's where. We all want to be safe, and we can bring in the experts by starting the conversation with our local police department. Contact them today to find out more.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Golf season is officially here. Matt Golden, my buddy, and his team of experts up at Tullymore Golf Resort, they're ready to welcome you with open arms. They might greet you at the front door and give you a big old bear hug. Tullymore Golf Resort, Canadian Lakes, offers not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. I played them both. They're a blast. It's located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, smack dab in the middle of the state, so it's easy to get to no matter where you're driving from. So visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. All right, gentlemen, it is hour number 2. It is segment number 2, which means it's time for Detroit Lions Trivia. Pew, 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 pew. All right. Out of the... There it is. Love a good air horn. DJ Danny Cahalan is in the mix. Damn, son, where'd you find this? All right, out of what football championship subdivision school, also known as the FCS, also known as Division I AA, did the Lions draft a 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end Robert Porcher, who played with the team from 92 until 2003, with the 26th overall pick in the 1992 draft? A lot of jargon there. What school did Robert Porcher go to?
Oh, my gosh, I'm
One of my
so
favorite
mad.
players. And we talk about Lions all-time greats, and for whatever reason, like Robert Porcher needs to be in all those conversations.
Sam Houston State.
Sam Houston State is... It's a good guess, I think.
I feel like it's a Florida something, but I don't know.
The correct answer is South Carolina State.
Wow.
Old SC State. All right, so there is, Justin Cruz, resident professional here at the X's and Bros Country Club. He's going to call in at 7:35 this morning, talking about the PGA. They got a frost warning going on right now. That's because their scheduling's backwards.
Yeah, they're going to start at 8:20, I think, instead of 7:05.
Guys look miserable out there in their practice rounds yesterday, but we'll get to that. So there is there's a debate that wages on in the golf world of who is the greatest golfer of all time. And I think that it's Tiger Woods. It's not close. And people will be like, oh, how could you say that? What about Jack, the Golden Bear? I love the Golden Bear. I love the Bear Golf Course, Traverse City. The beautiful Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Love that. Tiger Woods he's the best player that's ever played. I saw something that got sent to me. I don't know where the hell I saw that. But it was the Stimp meter ratings that came across from 1977 maybe? 1977, 1978? I'm going to pull it up right now.
Oh, my gosh, I can't wait. Please tell me they were playing at like a 7.
Oh, you want to know where these – and look, so I tweeted out that Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer that has ever lived. And if you can read this chart and don't understand what I'm saying, then your opinion is just dismissed. I'm not going to listen to you because you're ridiculous here. You think of like different generations and different eras and how much the athlete has evolved, how much the games have evolved, the equipment has evolved, the training, everything has gotten better, right? You can't tell me that today's Mustang isn't going to outperform the Model T. Like, that's ridiculous. You got like an antique versus a legitimate sports car. By the way, yesterday I parked, I have a Ford Edge down here, and I found a really good parking spot because I was guaranteed that no one was going to bump into me. You don't know how I was guaranteed that? I parked on the street too because I was flanked by an Aston Martin and a Ferrari. And I said, I can parallel park right here. Neither one of these guys are going to bump into me. I'm going to be all right here. These guys are okay. Would you rather have a Ferrari or a horse and buggy? The Ferrari is the better method of transportation. It just is. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you can go on the Oregon Trail and get your oxen in your wagon, or I can fly you Delta. You tell me how you want to get to the Pacific Coast, and you can have those options available. What do you think is a better method of transportation? The USGA stimp meter readings from 1977. Do you know what the stimp meter is?
Yes, it's it's the measurement of how far a ball will roll at off a certain distance. Yeah, they measure it. It's hard to explain. You have to see it done to know how they do it.
And a little device you put the ball on, and the ball.
It's a little
rolls
ramp.
out. Yeah, there's a little ramp they drop the ball on. And there is a theory here that if you took any amateur golfer and gave them the green in regulation at Augusta, you couldn't break 90 because you can't putt on those greens. You've never seen anything like it. I tried to explain this to somebody. I was playing at Inverness a couple years ago, and the guy was telling me, like, oh, man, I was here, and, man, my putting really struggled. And I was like, well, how were the greens? He's like, oh, they were decent. I'm like, yeah. Like, you couldn't walk out on a PGA Tour course and break 100, but you wouldn't break 90. If all you had to do was two-putt every hole, you wouldn't be able to do it. And people are, like, flabbergasted by that, but you've never seen greens with that kind of undulation in them. You've never seen greens that are just like ice, like putting on a lake, a frozen lake, without any bumps, just smooth. It's like glass.
Putting
surface.
on your driveway.
Yeah, it's just like putting on glass. That is so hard to do. Somebody actually said putting on slower greens is more challenging. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, I can't argue. You can't argue with stupid people.
Well, see, there's if your greens are going to roll true, or then it really depends. But yeah,
come on out to the Put in Bay 2 Club Invitational.
You want
and
fast greens.
I'll show you some slow greens.
Yeah,
all right. I'll show you some slow greens. Augusta National is rolling 7-11. Congressional 6-4. Cypress Point 7-8. Harbortown 5-1. What does that mean? That's like shag carpet in your grandmother's living room. Medina 7-8.
This was back then?
1977.
You're joking.
Oakland Hills 8-5 at Oakland Hills. Your normal Muni course right now probably rolls 8-5.
I was gonna say that's like a normal course.
Pinehurst number 2 6-10. Shinnecock 7-2. They screwed up Shinnecock so bad you couldn't land the ball on the green. They fried that course last time they were out there. Wingfoot. Sorry, Mom. Wingfoot 7-5. 7-5 at Wingfoot. This is why Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time. Now, well, what about in their first 22 majors, Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear? I'm not out here to slander him. I'm just trying to give you perspective on how great Tiger Woods was compared to everybody else. In their first 22 majors, Jack Nicklaus won 7. Tiger Woods won 8. Jack Nicklaus's total score in those 7 majors was 40 over par. 40 over. Tiger Woods was minus 81. He was 81 under par in his first 22 majors. That's a scoring differential of 121 strokes. In the 4 majors Tiger won in a row in his round-the-world Grand Slam year to year, he took 55 fewer strokes than his nearest competitor. He beat the closest guy to him by 55. Come on, bro. You're going to try to tell me that's not the greatest golfer ever? On today's greens. That's the other thing. Like, you're telling me you're 40 over par and your greens are rolling 7-5? Like, dude, what? Our resident professional, Justin Cruz from the X's and Bros Memorial, illustrious Royal Country Club, shall join us next. Yes, here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Got any plans for Mental Health Action Day? You do now. Join us online on Thursday, May 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. for In Tune, a free live stream event featuring performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to find out how you can log in and join the celebration for free. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day. Take action. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org and join the celebration.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Folks, the conference finals are here, and you can hop into all the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the association. Get in on the excitement of both the Eastern and Western Conference finals with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can score on the no-sweat same-game parlays every day during the conference finals. Western Conference game number 2 this evening. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, place the same-game parlay on either of the NBA games. If it doesn't hit, don't worry, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. That's Danny Cahalan and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. Dan, is Justin is our resident country club professional, Justin Cruz, ready to go?
He is indeed.
Cruise control, the cruise missile that coils well on the internet. So,
good morning.
Hey, rise and shine, man. Good morning. So we were going to do this tomorrow, but we're going to do it today. How great is that? This is exciting.
I'm ready. Always prepared. You have to adapt. You got to be ready. You got to get up and down for par sometimes. So I'm here.
Hey, you got to get up and down for you got to save it. It's all about the wedge game. The whole game scored from 150 in, isn't it?
I didn't know you could hit a wedge from 150, Bellino, but that is strong.
A pitching wedge, yeah.
Jeez, you are an athlete.
Highly skilled, loaded with talent. Isn't that what what's his name said from Eastbound and Down? What was the guy with the mullet?
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers, that's right. Kenny Powers, highly skilled, loaded with talent. So before you came on, something came across the wire, and I saw it, and I was like, I have to address this to the people, because there's always this debate about who is the greatest golfer of all time. And I know we're going to talk about the major coming up that's currently delayed because it's flipping freezing out there, Mr. Bigglesworth. But the USGA stimp meter readings came out from 1977. Did you happen to see my tweet about that?
I did.
And I'm looking at that, these shag carpets that these guys are playing on, and I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because that's all they knew, right? And at one point, the Model T was the premier method of transportation. A Ferrari is a better car to get you. It's going to get you from point A to point B a little faster. I would imagine is a better motor vehicle option. Maybe you want like a four-door, like the big, the Rolls-Royce like SUV. Maybe you want to go that way. Probably better than the Model T. If you want to take the oxen with the wagon across to the Pacific Northwest on the Oregon Trail, that's completely up to you. I personally would rather fly than take the horse and buggy, which brings me to this point. Tiger Woods the greatest golfer ever. Like, there's no way around it. You look at those stimp meter readings, like, come on.
I mean, I think the only thing you can say is technology has obviously improved, but if you look at some of these old classic golf courses, some of these greens were never designed to be running at 12, 13, 14 on the stimp meter. And because of that, a lot of those classic courses and classic greens, you can't even use certain pin positions that maybe they used 40, 50 years ago. So I agree with what you're saying. I'm not sure I can draw a correlation between Jack played on slower greens, so subsequent to that, Tiger's a better player. I would argue that much of Tiger's career, and you know me, I'm a huge Tiger guy, he didn't face the depth of competition or the depth of talent that is currently playing today.
In their first 22 majors, the Golden Bear won 7. Tiger Woods won 8. Jack was 40 over par combined for those rounds. Tiger was 81 under, a difference of 121 strokes.
Yeah, it was a different game. I mean, you look at some of the scores that won U.S. Opens going back to the 70s, I mean, or into the 80s, well over par was frequently a contending score. Golf changed. Technology changed. Expectations changed. I think there's also an entertainment element that changed. You know, when you had the massacre at Winged Foot, when, someone won at, 8-9 over par, people didn't find that maybe as entertaining as watching Tiger Woods shoot 15 under par at Pebble Beach in the U.S. Open. So I think there's a give and take there, but a lot of it's just the evolution of golf. And I think my biggest thing when you look at the stimp meter chart that you tweeted out is just how some of these courses were built and designed with some of these monstrous slopes, and you can't even use some of those pin positions anymore.
It would be like for those in Northwest Ohio listening in our backyard, my old home course, Tameron. God, I love that place. It's there were some hills and there were fun greens and dirty sand, but it was short, right? And you play it from the tips. It was like 5,500 yards maybe. That would be like going to play Tameron and then walking across the street and going to play Inverness.
Yeah,
it's worlds of difference. Like there's no like you would throw out like a 75 at Tameron, shoot 175 at Inverness.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Golf has changed a lot. The distances are crazy that some of these courses are, and by proxy, a lot of these courses like Oak Hill have had to do large renovations and improvements just to stay relevant and stay in the mix for major championships.
Justin, what have you made about some of the recent news where the R&A, the Royal and Ancient, yes, and the PGA Tour trying to get a hold of the golf ball and changing things, and this ball rollback, if you will, and trying to kind of slow down basically how far guys are hitting the ball?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit at the Masters. I think there's no reason to roll the ball back for the average player. I mean, Bellino, you're not good enough to hit the ball any shorter than you already are. Your issues has always been, accuracy, touch, execution. So for
should
the
be on my
average
dating
guy,
profile.
The run-of-the-mill amateur player, there's no reason to roll the ball back. For the professionals, I think you could make the argument that they probably are overpowering too many golf courses. You never see players have to hit 4 irons or 3 irons or even 5 irons very often into a green as an approach shot. It's a driver and a wedge type sport. And I think the RNA and USGA wants to get some of that execution back into the game. But, I mean, as we talked about during the Masters, the Tour pros are already playing a slightly different golf ball. The Titleist Pro V1 that Justin Thomas is going to play today, and I've said this before, is not a ball that you can just go out and buy. And that's just a reality of the situation. It was kind of like when Tiger was playing Nike balls for a while. That was a custom ball just for him.
Man,
so we already have a little bit of that spread that already exists. But I think a rollback in the pro game probably has some merit.
Wow. Okay. All right. There we go. I you dabbled a little bit before, we revisit and here you are, maybe with a pretty firm stance, kind of sounded like maybe a little bit. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a firm stance, but it's like that was probably rolling like 7.5 on the stimp meter. All right. So we have the PGA Championship this weekend through the 21st at Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York. Well, the PGA Tour decided to kind of revamp their schedule a little bit, which was smart, right? They needed to get away, get some of these other events in earlier in the year and avoid some, TV conflicts that they were running into later in the schedule. So I totally understand that. So the PGA moves up. The problem is Rochester, New York right now is 31 degrees according to AccuWeather. 31 degrees. That's below freezing, before 8 o'clock in New York in the month of May. Is it the timing of the tournament? Is it the course location that they've chosen for this? Like, how do they kind of correct this? Because guys look absolutely miserable during the practice round. Nobody wants to play in that kind of weather. That's why they're called chilly opens.
Yeah, I mean, this event was awarded to Oak Hill when the PGA Championship was still being played in August. So I think you have to, put that out there for context. Oak Hill is an amazing championship golf course. It's top 25 in the United States in the latest Golf Digest rankings. All the pictures, the renovation they did with Andrew Green, who's also done work at Scioto and Inverness, is just tremendous. But with that said, it's tough. With the May date, you're really drawing a line across much of the Northeast and the Midwest, and you're going to make it really, really challenging for these courses to be a part of the PGA Championship moving forward. And I think that's really what's unfortunate, that courses like in Inverness, like in Oakland Hills, who's kind of entrenched with the USGA, you're not going to see some of these courses possibly again host major championships. Now, the weather this afternoon's going to be okay. The sunset doesn't, go down to about 8:30. They're going to get a lot of golf in. Tomorrow's weather's in the 70s, and Sunday looks good. Saturday's a little dicey. So I think at the end of the day, Anthony, the May date is what it is. I think they're going to be able to go to some courses. The PGA is building a facility in Frisco, Texas. That facility is going to get multiple PGA championships. And courses like Oak Hill, unfortunately, are just going to get fewer and fewer of those opportunities.
Yeah, I don't like that. I also don't like the weather for them right now. But with the change in the schedule, like I want Inverness, I want Oakland Hills, I want them to be in the running, in those conversations, to be talked about, and to have the opportunity. That's something that we talked about a lot in our conversations on the radio. All right, so then I got to get to my next question, man. With the PGA this weekend, we're playing par 70, 7,300 yards, damn near 7,400, 7,394. So we'll call it 74. That's a really long ways away for a par 70 course here. Like that is so shocking to see something like that. The average golfer would look at that and probably puke. Like you don't have to worry about the pro. You're going to be hitting 3s and 4s and 5 irons. That much is for certain. These guys maybe not so much. Who's your favorite this weekend? Who do you like the most?
Yeah, the guys that I've kind of circled, funny enough, are guys that tend to play well a lot but tend not to win. And I think if you look at the history of the PGA, there's a lot of one-off winners. There's a lot of one-off major champions over the years, even going back like a Davis Love III or a Hal Sutton, or, the last time the event was at Oak Hill where, Jason Duffner won, and prior to that, Sean McKeel. But the guys that I kind of like this week are, the slowest of them all, Patrick Cantley. I also think Xander's trending and playing very well, and another guy that's playing well but doesn't win a ton of big events is Tony Finau. So none of those are really bold, long shot takes. They're all in that 18 to 24 to 1 type range. But I think those are players that are playing really well, and there's just a sense of maybe some of these guys are due. Xander's played well in a ton of major championships. This is going to be a hard golf course where a lot of people project a winning score of 5 to 9 under par. Maybe this lines up for him moving forward.
What about your boy? What about your boy? We got a little love for John Rahm here, huh? What do you say?
Listen, anytime right now there is a golf tournament anywhere on this planet and John Rahm is playing, you cannot discount John Rahm. You cannot discount Scotty Scheffler. I think I would be very, very surprised if come Saturday afternoon, those guys are not in the mix. They're just so talented and playing at such a high, high level that, even when Rahm plays down in Mexico a few weeks ago and gets beat by Finau and finishes second, he's in the mix. Scheffler was in the mix last week at Byron Nelson on the back nine. These guys just always are right there when it counts. I just think from a prognostication standpoint and we just plug DraftKings standpoint, I just can't get behind betting someone that's 6 or 7 to 1 in a major championship.
Hey, 4 tour wins this year, including the Masters tournament. Yes, a green jacket for John Rahm. I know that when that jacket went on, that you were elated, vindicated, the celebration, I'm sure, at your home. Do you have a Spanish flag in your home, yes or no?
I actually put a nice flagpole out adjacent to a tree, and every week Rahm plays, we fly the Spanish flag in his honor, and it was vindication.
Please tell me you're serious. Please tell me you're serious. Do I have to drive to your house and deliver you a Spanish flag?
If you deliver me the Spanish flag and the mount, I'll put it on an adjacent tree, just for you.
Done.
The neighbors will think what the hell's going on every time that thing goes up, though.
No, they'll know. They'll know. The Spanish Armada is here, and Rambo's Rowdies are ready to go to cheer on their boy. I love that Spanish flag coming to your house. So, hopefully, maybe your wife could make us some lemonade. We could sit around, talk about the short game. We'll hoist the Spanish flag, huh? I love this.
Play
This
the
is
anthem.
great. Play the anthem, yes. March around and maybe like some sort of caddy bib. I like it. I think Rod is something. He is Justin Cruz. Find him on Twitter at Coilswell. I mean, maybe he's a Spaniard now. I don't really know. Justin is always my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time. On the fly this morning, too. I mean, just picked up the clubs, slammed the trunk, and got out there.
I knew you were in a vulnerable position after that draft lottery.
Oh, my God.
The Pistons are going to do it. But I'm sure that fifth pick is going to turn out to be a game-changing player. Your Pistons are going to be fine, Anthony.
Everybody keeps saying that. Everybody keeps telling me the house isn't going to burn down, which is, I mean, maybe it will end up being fine. Maybe everything will work out, and that Cam Whitmore kid will be the draft pick, and he'll come out and he'll shine. But
I think he's probably going to average 6 rebounds, 4 points next year.
Who?
Whoever the Pistons pick.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that.
Invictus going to go 22-12.
Did you see what Br0's said? If he's not KD, LeBron, and Hakeem, then he's a failure or something. I'm like, dude, that's so stupid.
I liked your tweet this morning. One of the most absurd takes of all time.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Br0. Like, you got to be better than that. I know that everyone's in it for clicks and hot takes and everything else, but that's just ridiculous. Like, that's such a lofty expectation for a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The hype machine is full speed ahead with no return.
No return. It's gone now. I mean, that hype machine is out there, and it's rolling. So thanks again, man. And, hey, you playing today? You going to hit the stimp meter at all?
No play today. Hoping to play tomorrow. So we'll see if the weather holds tomorrow. We're in full golf mode, Bellino.
Excellent. I can't wait to get out there with you. I have to figure out how to keep my drive on the hole that we're playing. When I do that, things are looking good, but I'm having some trouble. I'm not even going to say hit the fairway. I just got to be able to find it, and it's got to be playable. That's all I'm asking, and be in the direction of the hole in the route we're supposed to be going.
It's important to play the hole you're on.
Touche, my friend. Hey, man, thanks again. I appreciate you.
Hey, have a great day, buddy. Have a good weekend.
You too. Enjoy the PGA Championship. And John Rahm, now I got to go buy a Spanish flag. I know where I can find one on Amazon. Just have it delivered.
No, I have one. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, because you went to Spain. That's right. I forgot. You went overseas. Was that study abroad?
No, it was after high school. It was the high school group. It was right after I graduated, but our Spanish teachers put together a trip for any student that wanted to go.
Wow. That's impressive. That's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, now I have a buddy that lives over there.
Can you say zapatos for me?
No. I am the whitest person speaking Spanish.
Well, when you go over there, all your Z's are like TH. They did that allegedly, because the king at one point had a lisp. And so they just changed everything. He couldn't say zapatos for shoes. He had to say zapatos. And that's why they all say it like that now. Ibiza. Yeah, exactly. Ibiza. Did you bite your tongue off? I'm not going to do that because we got hour 3 next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the Den with Dan Dickerson.
Step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sportsbook app that you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today at Eagle Casino and Sport. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
40 games in, and things are starting to get interesting. After a 10-17 start, the Tigers arrived at the 40-game mark with a 19-21 record, just a few games out of first. And there are many signs they could definitely stick around for a while. With 3 good starts in a row from Michael Lorenzen, the rotation is coming together nicely. Will Vest has been dynamite since his return. Jose Cisnero is rounding into form. Add those two to the mix with Foley and Lang, and the back end of the bullpen is looking strong. The offense just keeps getting better and better, led by the 2 key guys who had to be better in the heart of the order, Wiley Green and Spencer Torkelson. Both are hot, both are on everything. I know it's only 40 games in, but isn't it fun to think about the Tigers playing meaningful games deep into the summer?
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Spin the money wheel and win up to $100,000 cash. Every Saturday in April from 5 to 11 p.m. One winner each hour will spin for the win and take home up to $100 grand. Whirl in for $100,000 money wheel. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny Bey to
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Text the keyword Sports Radio, send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. Good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. We are going to get into both Michigan and Michigan State with some news on the roster front. We're going to hop into that at 8:17 this morning. So what's going on? Michigan State football, Michigan basketball, guys coming, guys going. We don't know what's happening in college sports. But first, let's get to the Meyer Supercenter guest line. That's where we find Freddie. Good morning, Freddie. How are you, my friend?
Don't forget, Brian Lewerke to the Michigan Panthers, baby.
Oh, exciting stuff. You're right. Yes, I think Dan did send me that.
Yeah, because Carson Strong had a season-ending injury, so they signed Brian Lewerke.
And Shea Patterson sucked. Their number 1 pick from last year. They already got rid of him. No good. Threw him out to the garbage. Shea Patterson. Anyways, how are you, AB? I lost my voice, so forgive me.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Life is good.
Good. You know, I turned on YouTube the other day, and I rewatched one of your clips that Ryan reshares on social media and everything, and you're still in Florida. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of an allowance do they give you at X's and Bros? Can you give a little bit to Danny and Ryan? I mean, can you share some of your cut with Danny and Ryan? Why gotta go to you?
Lot of allowance, man. Lot of allowance. Hey, have equipment. We'll travel.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Well, I say Danny and Ryan get a little bit more of the cut, and I think
I'm hoping one of them takes a vacation here soon.
Yeah, I would say Danny deserves one, but I think Ryan deserves one better because he has 3 kids. So I understand that well. Ryan, let's go, baby, you and me. We'll go to Vegas for a week.
That's a lot. Like, how about just a weekend? That's a lot. You know, let the guy actually get some rest here. He can't just be like, that's the thing about it. Like, so this is a vacation because I haven't missed a day. Like, I'm working every day. You know, got some things brewing, so that's cool. But it's just broadcasting from a different location. That's all it is. But they need time. They need time away where you're not doing anything. You're not thinking about anything. Vegas is tough because you don't actually get any rest. Then you need a vacation when you get back.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. So I got a lot of things to touch on in a couple minutes because normally you cut me off and hang up on me. So first of all, your fans, John and Nick, I got to give them a shout out. Your fans, they come and see me and they love how I keep you on your toes. And John and Nick, 2 cool guys. I just wanted to give them a shout out. They're big fans of you, Anthony. They were ranting and raving about you. So big shout out to John and Nick. Your guys there with Toledo, right?
Yeah, yep. They have a great golf outing as muscular dystrophy has hit their family pretty hard, and they do a great golf outing at Bedford Hills and they get to use all 3 courses because they shut the place down the entire day. The amount of people and the amount of support that they get, very much intertwined with the Toledo hockey community. You'll get a lot of the walleye players that'll come out, players from past teams like Ted Tucker and the Gold Diggers and all those guys. Like they love that family. Just really good, salt of the earth type of people.
So my winner for the PGA Championship, Victor Hovland. I'm going to keep picking Victor Hovland until he finally wins one, and just hope he doesn't turn into Ricky Fowler. Victor Hovland and Tommy Fleetwood, 2 guys I like watching today's game. John Rahm's another one, and obviously my guy left, Wayne Gretzky's son-in-law. Why am I forgetting his name right now?
Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson. Yeah, I'm bummed. I never get to see him play anymore. He was my favorite.
Paulina's husband.
Paulina's husband. That's it. He likes to do lines. That's the guy, the one that did lines. But Victor Hovland, he's going to be my pick for this weekend. Now, I want to just clear something up with you with this Malik Willis stuff, okay? So because you always spread misinformation. Yes, I did call and say take him at 2, but what you keep forgetting is that when I was on TV and when they call it a thing called edit button. The Lions had a second first round pick that year, and I had said take them at 28, but if they don't feel like he'll be there, take him at 2, because I think it's the right thing to do. I said that. I did say that. But
I think you said Malik Willis is your guy.
Absolutely, I did say that.
Yeah, not my guy, not my team, not my franchise.
Also, I did say take him with the second first-round pick, but that got edited out on TV because they only have so much time.
Well,
so
of course.
Just to be clear, I did say that, but I did finish it with saying take him at 2. He'll be your guy in 2 years. Let him sit a year. I did say that. So you can't give up on Malik Willis. Remember, the general manager for the Tennessee Titans, Bill, you can confirm this with me, is a new general manager this year. So he picked his own guy. Malik Willis was not his pick. So you got to give him a shot, Anthony. Got to give him a shot.
I don't have to give him a shot if their own GM's not going to give him a shot. I don't need to give him a shot.
Well,
not my guy either. I didn't draft him. He doesn't even play for my franchise. I don't even know why we talk about him. He's irrelevant.
Listen, Victor Hovland, Monday morning. I want to see it. Have a good week, guys.
All right, partner. Boy, Gion's all
Scott from Grand Rapids. We miss you too, by the way. Hurry up and call back.
I don't know where I think USDA Scott. He served his 2-week suspension. I think he's all done. I don't know. Maybe he turned us off.
He's playing hard to get. He wants you to beg him back. That's what he's trying to do.
Oh, that's
see you later.
All right, see you later. That is hilarious. Yeah, Gian, you're more than welcome to call in and say what's up. That's he's listening to us right now. Downtown Detroit, deep in the StockX factory, just pumping out Air Jordans. You need a pair? Call my guy, Gian. He'll open up his jacket like he's on the corner selling Rolexes.
We'll take some of his vacation days.
Oh my God, this guy unlimited PTO. Could never use them though. That's the thing about it. Like the guy's got unlimited PTO, but can't use it because he's the brains of the operation. Like he leaves, the whole place probably just implode. Just is what it is. So it's like, hey, he's trying to cut vacation short so he can get back because he's got to do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, man, you're crazy. You are nuts. All right, real quick, Tigers lose last night, 8-0, or yesterday, I should say, to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Really rough outing for Eduardo Rodriguez. Let me tell you, his worst start of the season. Because if I don't say that, then I'm just peddling misinformation. Fake news, as the kids like to say. Eduardo was bad. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, gave up a home run through 98 pitches. Got no run support because they only had 1 hit in the ball game. The Tigers 1 for 28 from the dish with 14 strikeouts. Disgusting. Just real bad all the way around. We had NBA Eastern Conference Finals. We talked about Game 1 earlier. We didn't get a chance to talk about Game 1 between tonight's teams, the Lakers and the Nuggets, so we'll hop into that at 8:35 this morning to jump into Game 1, plus what to expect Game 2, Nuggets-Lakers. Denver with a 1-0 series lead with Miami's 123-116 victory last night. The Heat have a 1-0 lead and steal the first game on the road. How cool is that? Shemi Schembechler has been hired by Jim Harbaugh to work on the Michigan staff as a assistant director of football recruiting. And The PGA Championship starting today. Guys, the rough is thick. Do not try to hit a wood out of that rough. Today through Sunday, PGA Championship, 31 degrees right now. Play has been suspended for frost. We'll step aside. When we return, we got a couple things going on in East Lansing and in Ann Arbor. Who's going where? We'll talk about it next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at tullymoregolf.com.
Got any plans for Mental Health Action Day? You do now. Join us online on Thursday, May 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. for In Tune, a free live stream event featuring performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to find out how you can log in and join the celebration for free. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day. Take action. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org and join the celebration.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
superstar, wonder wife.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros. Now is a great time, if you haven't done so already, to sit down with the calendar, sit down with your buddies, and figure out when you're going to go visit Matt Golden and his friends up there at Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, located an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. They have 2 championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. They're like 7 minutes from each other. They have a shuttle bus that'll take you from point A to point B. It's beautiful. It's located smack dab in the middle of the state, so it's easy to get to, and there's no reason not to. Plus, it features not only top-of-the-line golf, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. All right, so big news. Where do you guys want to start? You want to start on the East Lansing or Ann Arbor? Doesn't matter to me where we start at. We got to get to both.
Whichever one.
Doesn't
matter. They both hurt.
It's basketball season, so we'll start on the hardwood. The former North Carolina Tar Heel, Caleb Love, is no longer transferring to Michigan. North Carolina, and he's been looking ever since he left there. He's been looking for a home. Looked like he was going to go to Michigan. However, according to sources, he's no longer going to Ann Arbor. He is the number 16th ranked player in the transfer portal, because now we have to rank that, because we have to rank everything. He's a former McDonald's All-American 5-star guard who scored 1,500 points during 3 seasons at UNC. Announced his commitment to the Wolverines back in April, and that was going to be a huge boost for this team. But he's back on the market, and according to many sources, that it is an admissions issue. And so I was asked about this in the illustrious group chat. I said, look, you got to take real classes if you're going to try to get into U of M. You're not going to get, art 101, bowling, and basketball are not going to get you into Michigan. Like, you better be taking physics, calculus, and intro to astronaut if you're going to try to get in there. Like, it just is what it is. Now they're going to try to make up some ground on Ray J. Dennis, the former Toledo Rocket and Mid-American Conference Player of the Year, who's in the portal. Sounds like Illinois is throwing a hefty bag at him. We'll wait and see where he chooses to go. But there is a lot of complaints going around right now because, you have Hunter Dickinson saying he wasn't making 6 figures, or he was making under. That's probably a better way to phrase that. He was making under 6 figures in pay-to-play, NIL, whatever. There is a big stink being raised about admissions because this isn't the first time. And guess what? It's not going to be the last time. And some people are like, look, man, you got to do what you got to do. Got to get these guys in. Let these credits transfer. Come on. We got to win games. There's another section of the crowd that's like, it doesn't matter. This is Michigan. So either you're going to take real classes and have a real GPA, or you're not going to come here because there's more important things than wins and losses. There's more important things in sports. I hear both sides of the argument. I get it. Like, yes, sure. I mean, athletics is the front porch of your university. I don't know of any other activity that happens on any college campus anywhere in America that is televised as much as athletics. Like, that's it. The Flutie effect is real. I mean, look at FAU. I mean, I guarantee you after FAU's March Madness run, their attendance is going to go up. More people are going to be interested. Hey, where is FAU? Like, what's that campus look like? It's in Boca, and it's beautiful. Might be worth checking out. But now you even know of FAU because of, well, they were on television. They made a historic tournament run. I knew of Bowling Green because of Omar Jacobs, Urban Meyer. I mean, it just is what it is. And that's a catalyst for your school. So I get that, hey, first off, the NIL stuff, I don't agree with any of it. I think NIL is trash. I think it's the dumbest idea we've ever had. I think it's turned into a live auction is all it is. It's not even name, image, and likeness. It's just an auction, and the player's going to go to the highest bidder. And that's what it is. So if you like it and you're for it, like, great. Do I think that these players should be able to capitalize? Well, does that mean that high school players get to capitalize on the money that they generate for the school? Are we going to see high school NIL deals? That's already being talked about. Like, it's just, sometimes you got to protect people from themselves. And there's a process that, you go through. Now, I had all unpaid internships. And now they're like, well, you got to pay the interns. Like, well, okay, well, I guess. Whatever you want to pay them, it's going to, squeeze out some opportunities there. But you know how I feel if you listen to this program. You know how I feel about the NIL, and they should just unionize. That's what needs to be done. Unionize and talk about the contracts for football and men's basketball and whatever else you want. And if it means, so long to tennis, so long to golf. I love golf. You're probably going to lose some golf programs. But they don't generate any money. They just cost your athletic department money. Then you get into the student-athlete experience. Well, the student-athlete experience kind of went out when we introduced NIL, right? Because now we're not worried about student-athletes. Now we're just, how much can we pay somebody to come here? Open transfer portal. It's a willy-nilly. It's the Wild West out there right now in college athletics. I don't agree with it. And so for Caleb Love, people are like, what do you think? I'm like, well, it doesn't matter what I think. I'd see the people that say, hey, take real classes. And I also think that if you're a college kid and you're an athlete, you have mandatory study tables. You have all the tutors in the world, that you have every possible advantage over every other college student on that campus. If you can't stay eligible, you're an idiot. You don't take it serious. You're not responsible. That's all that says to me. Like, there's no way. And that's if you're doing things the right way and you're not having, the scandal that UNC had a few years ago where, you got tutors taking tests to keep the athletes eligible. Like, if you're a student athlete and you go to college on a scholarship and you're not going to take advantage of a world-class education, I don't care if it's UNC, Michigan, Florida State, Texas, I don't care where you go. You got an opportunity to go to a 4-year university for free as a college athlete, and you're not going to take advantage of that and get yourself in the best position possible, that's your fault. You're the one being the dummy, and nobody else's problem. You're squandering your own opportunities. You think you're going to make it to the league. You think you're going to, I'm only worried about playing on Sundays. I'm playing in the association. I'm doing this. I'm going to the league. Okay. But if that doesn't work out, then what? Then what are you going to do? I would advise you, my unsolicited advice here, to take the school part seriously, to get a degree that matters, to chase whatever gets your juices flowing, man. Whatever you like to do, whatever career field that may be, that's what you should pursue. And you should pursue it with the same enthusiasm that you are pursuing your goals on the field. Like, who is the safety from Florida State that ended up going to be a Rhodes Scholar and went to England? Who was that? Why do I think his name started with an X?
No. Mylan Roll, I think.
Was it Roll? You're probably right. That sounds about right. Like, the dude went be a doctor. Was a Rhodes Scholar. Like, that's something that should be applauded. Like, here, I'll do it. Studio audience. Myron Roll. Like, it doesn't, like you can chase. I'm not telling you not to chase your athletic dreams, but if you want to squander the opportunities in front of you because you want to take cupcake classes because you think you're going to be this, that, and the third, that's on you. That's your fault. Now, we not only have the Caleb Love issue, so where do I stand on it? It's the way that it is. It's not the first time it's happened. It's more than likely not going to be the last time it's going to happen because Michigan's not going to change their admission standards. And the fans are going to be frustrated about it. I'm sure a majority of those fans didn't go to the university. And I get it. Like, you need every dog that you can get. And if they took some cupcake classes, if they have a GPA that's a little suspect, man, get them. Can you get them in the door? Can you convince them to say, hey, no, because of our program, they're going to be better off as people? Maybe you try to make that argument. I don't know how you fix it unless the president of the university is going to come down and say, hey, look, we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make some changes to how we do this for some of our athletes. When we return, two big stories coming out of East Lansing, both regarding the football program. We'll jump into that next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
You are very popular. Your texts want your attention, your touchscreen wants your attention, social media wants your attention, and that tuna sandwich you just dropped between the seats definitely wants your attention. All of them can wait because you're busy driving. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police reminds you that April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. We want you and everyone around you to be safe, so tell your distractions to wait, especially that tuna sandwich.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
For a lot of us, music and mental health are intertwined. That's why the Collaborative Lab created In Tune, a free live stream event, and you're invited. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day, so take action for your own mental health by joining us from 7 to 9 p.m. Musical performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to learn how you can join the party for free.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Text line is open, phone line is open. Feel free to hit us up, share any of your thoughts on any of our topics. Text the keyword sports radio, send it to 21,000, or give us a dial on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176. Game 2 tonight, Nuggets and Lakers. We're going to get into that. We didn't really get into much of Game 1 after it happened because we were so focused on the lottery. But, I mean, when's the last time the worst team in the league had the number 1 pick? And that's what the lottery was there to do, was to discourage people from tanking, and so far it has worked. So there you have it. It's not Pistons fans clamoring to fix it. Like I don't know what else you do, because no player is going to play hard so they can be replaced. I'm telling you that much. But we'll get into Game 2 after we touch base with what happened in East Lansing. So ex-Spartan wide receiver Keon Coleman announced that he is going to transfer to Florida State. His quarterback already
transfer to the Bagman.
The Bagman University. Oh, good. And Michigan State had a transfer commit who flipped. So this is 11 days after giving a verbal commitment to Mel Tucker and the Spartans. TCU transfer quarterback Keon Stewart. Saw a lot of videos from Keon Stewart. He's flipped his pledge, and he's now going to Arkansas.
Which, the great one about the Keon Stewart one is after he committed, posted a photo on Instagram. He goes, I committed, but you think the calls would stop calling. They just ramped up. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, he
gone.
Yeah, look, this is...
He committed no more than an hour ago.
Less than an hour ago, Happy Gilmore accomplished the same feat. This is the world we live in, so we have to deal with it. Until the NCAA can try to reel things in and they come up with some sort of plan, this is what's going to continue to happen. And it is difficult because the fan bases are getting played left and right. That's what it comes down. And the coaching staffs, for that matter, too. They're putting in a lot of work. The recruiting, and you got to re-recruit your own guys. Like, it is...
You got to re-recruit guys that gave you a commitment a week ago.
Yeah. There's just, I don't know how you even plan, like, who's even going to be on your two deep? You have no idea until you play the first game, and even then, a kid can walk out and say, I'm going to go to the portal. I don't know how you're supposed to establish any sort of a culture as a new coach in this environment. I really don't. Like, I know Coach Prime.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. He's doing the total opposite of it.
Yeah,
he's welcoming the portal. It's
well, you have to at this point. You have to welcome it, but he's wiped their whole roster. A roster that won 3-4 games last year? Like, they weren't any good to begin with. But I'm real interested to see how that Colorado saga works out. He got his new truck. I don't know if you saw that. Coach Prime did. Got his big new truck.
Yeah, his F-650. I saw that. I think T-Pain also has one.
Yeah, apocalypse truck.
Let's say the thing about the Keon Coleman, it seems just very similar to the Hunter Dickinson saga.
Mm-hmm. A little NIL free agency, baby.
Right, where it's just like you really have no reason to go except people are just calling saying, we can give you a lot more money.
We can give you more money. And, I don't necessarily Michigan State to Florida State. I mean, if you're going from Michigan hoops and the roster they have to Kansas, that makes total sense. Like, I get that. I'm not offended by that at all. And if you get offended by that, you got to stop being like so offensible. The Kansas is a better basketball program. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, that's a better program. And Bill Self has had way more success than Juwan Howard has. And their rosters are ready to compete right now. And they're going to give you more money? Like, wouldn't you? What's your loyalty to? You're not even from here. You don't care. This isn't your dream school. You didn't wake up in the morning and go, wow, man, as a 7-year-old kid going, with Michigan wallpaper in your room. You didn't do that. That was me, not you. You're from the DMV. I don't even know I don't even know. Who'd you root for? Who was your team growing up? This is just absolute chaos. And I feel part of me does feel bad for Mel Tucker, because he got thrown into this at the very last second with a head coaching record that isn't great, and had a really good year and got a lot of money. And that furnace, that heat is on, and everybody knows it. And now you can't even get to a point where you can try to stabilize your roster to begin whatever culture shift you're trying to make. Like, I don't understand how you're supposed to do that. Let's hit the Meyer Supercenter guest line. Danny and Brighton wants to talk about NIL. All right. Danny and Brighton, what's going on?
All right. Girls. Hello, girls. How we doing?
Girls.
It's a line from Arthur a long time ago. That's because I'm very old.
Oh, I was going to say, girls here.
It just pops in my head. Listen, it's very dangerous what's going on inside, and sometimes you get to experience it.
Okay. That's
but I digress.
I'll write that down.
Have you ever seen the movie?
No.
Oh, Arthur Dudley Moore. It's solid. It's a very oldie, but very much worth a watch.
Okay.
So the interesting thing about and I heard Ryan mention like the whole Hunter Dickinson saga, and we talked about it before, and I understand where he's his mindset is, I'm not going to make a whole lot in the NBA or wherever I go, so I need to make it now. All right, I kind of sort of, you can't really begrudge the guy for that. I kind of understand that. I think really the bigger issue is just how this whole NIL thing developed, because there's a long time where the players are trying to just get like, well, just give us $3,000, just give us $5,000. And the NCAA was just like an adamant no. And then finally, it actually went to the Supreme Court where they just said, you can do whatever the hell you want. And instead of coming up with like a moderate, semi-reasonable solution, it's now the wild, wild west. And I really think that when the NCAA can say, you can transfer one time wherever you want, fine. If you go again, you have to sit a year. I think that might curb a little bit of the, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here. And that's what we see now. And I think that might help to kind of what you talked about, sort of stabilize the roster a little bit, where, Hunter Dickinson or Keon Coleman or whomever, or A.J. Henning has to think about, do I really want to go there for this? I mean, am I really making the right decision long term, or am I just, making the knee-jerk reaction because of my current situation?
Could be a little bit of both. And, look, if the NCAA would have come out, right, and what do you think a good number is for a college athlete? Like, how much do you think they should be paid?
It's interesting because I used to have a number, and based on what these people are getting now, my number is asinine and unbelievably small. I used to think, give these guys, $5, $8, $10,000 a year, that's fine. I'm like, that's laughable. Even though, when you think about it, if you had, I don't think they would have beefed, because most of the people, or most of the athletes in college that are getting money are starting, so they're probably on full scholarship. So all you're giving them is extra money, and that was kind of like the whole thing that they beefed about. But now it's absurd. When you think about some of the coin at places like Texas A&M and Miami of Florida and whomever else, in football, and then whomever else, Duke, Kansas, and basketball, they're throwing out. That seems, like a pittance. Like, okay, well, that'll get my attention. Now what are you going to do?
I wonder if with the NIL deals or college football, if they ever do reform it, if they'll put in like a non-compete clause for the transfer portal. Like, hey,
they absolutely should.
You cannot collect NIL money for 1 year entering the transfer portal unless you're a graduate transfer or your coach leaves.
Yeah, and then you'll get the pushback to say, well, the coaches get to do it. The coaches have buyouts, and the coaches can get fired at any time. So think about it like this: do you think $500 a week is a good number for a scholarship player? You got 80 scholarship players in football. Would you do $500 a week per player?
I mean, if you're asking me, the answer is yes, because that's like free money. What's he going to do with it? But in this day and age,
a lot of times send it home.
Maybe.
A lot of times. One coach once told me, look for the kid. No, they shouldn't do that. It should be an account for them. They shouldn't be sending that money home. They should be trying to establish themselves so that they have a future, not worried about anything else. Anybody else running down the field? Nobody else is catching the ball. Nobody else is lifting weights at 6 a.m. Nobody else is doing anything. So, damn it, keep your own money and quit sending that stuff home. I got to help this. I got to help that. No, you need to help yourself. That's what you need to do. Affix your mask on the plane before you go in and assist in other people. Like if the ship is going down, put your own life vest on first before you help anybody, right? You can't help anybody if you're dead. So get out, save your money, right? Maybe put it in some sort of account that, and afterwards, if you want to, like maybe it's a shared account, a joint account with the school, and it's just like some sort of trust where you get half of it up front and put half of it away. But protect the actual individual. Like the one coach told me, look for the kid who's always getting a meal to go after meals. That's the kid who's sending his money home because he still doesn't have anything in his fridge. So if you gave college football players, if you're on scholarship, let's say you got to be on scholarship to be eligible, and you had 80 scholarship players and they all made $500 a week, you're spending $40,000 a week in payroll. $40,000 a week. Over the course of 52 weeks, that's almost $2.1 million. What about the insurance? I mean, if you're collecting all this money for playing and we're basically paying you to play, you should be covering your own insurance. Why do I have to eat the bill for that too?
Well, when you think about it, and to be honest, the University of Michigan, Michigan State, whoever, they're not paying. They're boosters, collective, whatever. Those guys are the ones that are footing the bill. But so Ryan had a thought, and I liked his idea. And the other thing I think about the whole NIL is that you don't get any money until you're actually here. I'm not paying you to come here. I'm paying you to perform. If, let's say we'll take Blake Corum or Peyton Thorne, whomever, or AJ Hogarth. Listen, you had a great year. Here's $20,000. Here's $25,000. X. Thanks so much. Now that you're established, I'm going to give you X. But that's not what's happening, and that's why you have the portal madness is because all these schools are, well, if you come here, I'm going to give you X. No, if you come here, you can play and you have a chance to make X. That's how I thought it was supposed to be. But,
I did too.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, I actually thought it was going to be like, I could run a basketball camp. It's just the bag man running wild. Danny and Brightman, appreciate the call this morning. I'll go watch Arthur later.
Talk to you.
GB Ritz is on hold in the Meyer Supercenter guest line. GB, good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Anthony. How are you?
I'm fired, and inspired on a Thursday.
I am sitting in the parking lot of a chilly golf course right at the moment, ready to play.
What's the temperature?
Cleared. What's that? It's 45 out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's balmy, very balmy. I don't have any sympathy for the pros playing, having to wait for a frost delay. I've waited for a frost delay the last couple rounds I've gone out for. They get clothing to wear in any weather that they have to play in their office out on the course. So I have no sympathy for them. None. Let them play in 50-degree temperatures, for God's sakes. I got to do it. And they're making more money than I am. So God bless them. Go out and play, hit the ball, and maybe it'll take 20 yards off their drive, and they'll only hit it 335. So with that, I'd like to see Spieth win. Just because I know he's hurt. He's got that wrist injury, but hopefully he can muddle through it and come out on top and complete the career Grand Slam. Other than that, I'll go with Hovland. I mean, I like Freddie's choice, but I'm still rooting for Spieth. So that's my gig.
GB, hit them long and straight, not too often, my friend. Good luck out there today, all right?
Yep. Talk to you later.
Lots of coffee. Jimmy in Toledo, he's up next on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. Jimmy, good morning to you, my friend.
Actually, it's Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. They wrote Jimmy, so I said Jimmy. Jerry, good morning to you.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the whole NIL thing. And I don't know if you remember this, but back when Johnny Manziel was at Texas A&M, they auctioned off to a booster, for $20,000 to have a picnic with his family with Johnny Manziel. So I understand the point. The players are the ones that are doing the work. They should be the ones getting the benefits from it. But they should have had a better plan to do it.
Jerry, they didn't have any plan at all, my friend. They came out here and they just said, "Look, we can't do anything because we're going to get sued." So in fear of litigation, they literally just held their hands up, said, "Go ahead, do whatever you want." Like the NCAA has got to be the most disorganized organization I've ever seen.
That's the problem with everything in this country. Everybody's afraid of getting sued.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Country's sue happy.
Oh, everybody wants some easy money.
Yeah, but people are suing ice cream parlors because their kids have got a brain freeze. Brain freezes aren't fatal.
Well, look, I mean, maybe the kid should eat more ice cream. Just if they build up some tolerance to it. That's what I say.
Slow down or eat it slower.
Could do that too, Jerry. But I think you're spot on. The picnic, that's what it was supposed to be. But it's definitely not that. And there's no clear cut end in sight, my friend. Appreciate the call this morning, bud.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Sounds good. There goes Jerry. Hey, folks, a reminder. Western Conference Finals rolls along tonight. The NBA playoffs, big hoops action over the DraftKings Sportsbook, and official sports betting partner of the association. Get in on all the excitement of the Western Conference Finals tonight with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins the Nuggets. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the playoffs. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Opt in, place a same-game parlay on any game. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. If you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. That was pretty good. I get excited over that. It's like, how fast can you read all this? So Michigan State, both dealt big blows due to the portal. PGA Championship, round number 1 is today, plus game number 2. We still haven't even got a chance to talk about game number 1. My goodness. All right, we'll have to do that tomorrow. It's a big one here tonight, folks. Back in the little Rocky Mountain Round Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado. The Nuggets with a 1-0 series lead. Can they take down the LA Lakers again? Find out tonight. 8:30 tip-off on ESPN. Jokic and the gang. Can the Lakers remove Anthony Davis off of Jokic again? Put a little Rui Hachimura on him. Get that defensive matchup so that Davis can kind of float around and present that help when Jokic gets to the bucket. How will Denver counter that tonight? Got a lot to look forward to here. Denver, 3-game winning streak right now. Just saying. Keep your eyes peeled. Jokic and the gang. I'm rooting for them. Go Nuggets. For Dan and Ryan, I'm Anthony. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Life as a grown-up. Not what you thought it would be, right? The meetings, the stress, the boredom, and that one big question. Does any of this matter? Then you became a cop. Not what you thought it would be, right? The pride, the honor, the love for the brothers and sisters who served with you. The family who reminds you how much you matter. Being a cop, not what you thought, right? Just what you needed, I guess. Visit MichiganPoliceChiefs.org.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Got any plans for Mental Health Action Day? You do now. Join us online on Thursday, May 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. for In Tune, a free live stream event featuring performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to find out how you can log in and join the celebration for free. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day. Take action. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org and join the celebration.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.